Hello guys, welcome to my YouTube channel again. My name still remains Emmanuel and I am the CEO Destined Digital Concept, and I want to especially appreciate you all for always watching our videos and for your engagement and everything. And please also do well to be sharing our videos and also comment and also share your opinion on our videos, and also tell us as well new things you want us to also be teaching and working on, and we really appreciate your opinions. Now in today's section we are going to be looking at web hosting. Now, if you are a web developer or an aspiring developer or a newbie in web development, you must have heard of the concept web hosting. So, web hosting in general is what I'm going to be breaking into bit for you in this video so you can understand the concept of web hosting, the type of web hosting, how to host your website, how web hosting works, and everything. So, stay back with me on this video as I hold you by the hand and walk you through web hosting step by step guide. So welcome back guys. In today's video, like I said earlier, we're going to be looking at understanding web hosting. So at the end of this video, you should understand everything about web hosting and what web hosting entails. So as you can see in the screen, I'm going to be following up with these presentation right here on my screen. So we use this to make a follow-up on it, and also I'm gonna be moving over to some sessions where we are going to be having practical. So now the first thing we need to understand is what is web hosting. Okay, what is web hosting? Like I have on the screen now, web hosting is the service that allows your website to go live on the internet. That is to say, web hosting is that service or that platform or that process of making your website live on the internet. As you know, when you are designing your website, especially those of us that do coding, you are designing that website on your system alone. So it's only your computer that can access that website. But when you want that website to be accessible on the internet to everybody that have internet access, this is where web hosting comes in place. Okay, so think of it as a land, or let me break it down. Imagine you're trying to build a house, and let's say you want to build a 2-bedroom flat, a bungalow, whatsoever. The first thing you will need to do is to contact a real estate company and purchase a land. Okay, then after purchasing the land, you start building your house on that land that you have purchased. So think of your website, imagine your website as the house you are trying to build, and imagine web hosting as the process of you building that house on a land. Okay, so this is web hosting. Now in that web hosting, there are some concepts that you need to understand. Now take note, I mentioned land, I mentioned house. Your house needs to be on a land. All right, so your website needs to be somewhere on the internet space, and that land is what we call a hosting server. Is what we call a server. So a server is just like a computer on the internet space that is accessible with the internet. The same way you have your laptop. I'm trying to break everything down to the layman terms so that you don't have any reason to be confused and you understand everything. Just the same way you have your laptop or your desktop computer or even your phone, that is the same way we have a kind of computer that is called a server. So a server is nothing more than a computer, but this server is located somewhere and is connected with computer networking to the internet. Now this also brings us to another term in computer that I will not want to go into details, and it is computer networking. Computer networking simply means connection of different computers in different locations, and we have different type of connections. We have the internet connection, we have the Ethernet connection or intranet connection. Now let me explain what those things mean. Let me start from intranet. Ethernet rather, or intranet. This is the connection of computer wired or locally connected. For instance, when you go to a what do we use as an example now? When you go to a printing press, for instance, when you go to a printing press, for instance, you see they have different computers there. This guy is designing, this guy is designing, this guy is designing, and they have just one computer that many of the times one computer that they use to send the work to the printer. So what they do is that they network all the computers in that printing press together. So what this Mr. A is designing on the system can be retrieved in that computer inside the printing house, from where they will be sending it to the printer. What Mr. A, Mr. B, Mr. C are working on their design and they are saving it on their system can be collected without the use of a flash or whatever, and that is done with an Ethernet connection. So when you look at your laptop or your desktop, you're going to see a port there, a network port there. That is where you do your Ethernet connection, connecting different computers together. Now let's come to internet. Internet has to do with connecting different computers together, but on a large scale, large distance range. All right. So one computer is in United States of America, and another computer is in Dubai, and another one is in Nigeria. But these computers are connected together with the help of the internet. So basically, that's what the internet does. The internet helps us to connect different computers together. Now, I told you that a server is a computer that is connected with the internet. So you put your website on the server, and whenever somebody is trying to access that your website, the person is accessing it from that server. So the person's laptop or phone or whatsoever is connecting to that second computer, which is the server, and is retrieving your website. So the process of you now putting your website on that server is what is now called web hosting. So I believe you have understand what a server is. Now, a server also comes with some other features that will make your website to be working perfectly and runs perfectly. A server will comes with an Apache. I will get to explain it later. Come with an Apache. An Apache is the aspect that loads your website, your web pages. You know, your website is simply a document, and the section of the server that interprets that document is the Apache. A server should come with a database. I'm just going to list the main things that a server should come with. A database to store the information for your website, and a server should come with an email still account to handle emails from the website and all of that. So I believe with this explanation you have been able to understand websites. So think of think of your website as a house you are building. Think of the hosting or the server as the land you are hosting your website. Then when you build your website, you host your website, user can now access your website. Now, having hosted your website, how can these users access your website? So this will take us to the next slide, which is how web hosting works. Now, your website is stored on powerful servers. I have explained servers. Your website is stored on a server, and I said the server is a computer on its own that you store your website there. So you upload your website to that server. Then secondly, a domain name or a domain and DNS connection uses domain and DNS connects users to that server. So this will now bring us to the next explanation I will be stressing on, and that is what a domain. So what is a domain? Remember I said, imagine your website to be a house that you are building or that you built. Every house have an address. There is no house without an address. There must be an address. Number 22, so and so place, Auchi, Edo State or Lagos, Nigeria, or whatsoever. That is the address to your house. Now, the address to your website on that server is the what? The domain name. So, when a user types on a server or on a browser, www.so-and-so-and-so.com, that is the domain name, and a domain name is a unique address to what? A website. So there is no website that should carry the same, there is no two websites that should carry the same domain name, and you cannot register a domain name twice. A domain name is registered to an account, and you cannot register that domain name twice. All right, so that domain name and a DNS, domain network system, connects the user to your server. Now let's make it practical. Now let's go to a browser. Let's go to a browser now and check out something. Now when we go to a browser, and this is my browser now, I'm using Chrome browser. The browser, what the browser does is that the browser helps the user connect to the server and retrieves information stored in the server, interprets it back to the user. So the browser is just the client side of the host stuff, okay, while the server is the backend side. So now when I type www.destineddigitals.com, DestinedDigitals.com, this I have typed here is the what? The domain name of a website, the house address of a house. So we want to visit this house now, but we need the house address. So this is the domain name. Okay, so when I enter now, it's going to open up. Oh, what I type is not correct. Destined. Okay, sorry, DestinedDigitals.com.ng. all right, so as you can see now, it has taken us to a website. All right, so when we also type another one, SwiftDigicat.com, it takes us to another different website. It cannot take us to welcome to Destined Digitals website. It is not possible because every domain name is linked to its own website. So that is a domain name. Now, how do you get the domain name and the hosting? I'm going to be explaining that in some other sessions of this video. I know you have that question in your mind and you really want to know that. So let's proceed. Having understand domain name, the next thing is files are delivered to the browser. Now, we typed here, what we typed here is SwiftDigicat.com, you remember? We typed SwiftDigicat.com, and what happened is that our browser got access to a server through this domain name that we typed, and is now delivering to us the files that we have stored in that server. And this you are seeing on the screen now is the files we have stored in that server, the files we have hosted in that server. So you see, it is very easy. This is how web hosting works. There is nothing more and there is nothing less, though there are more things that you need to know about that, but those are some other advanced stuff you will be getting to know as you progress. But basically, this is how web hosting works. Okay, so files are delivered. Now let's go back and continue. Now, types of web hosting. What are the type of web hosting you can see? Types of web hosting. In the first one, we have shared hosting. Now let me explain shared hosting. Remember I mentioned that a server is a computer. Now, shared hosting is just like how do I explain shared hosting now? Imagine you are staying in a face me I slap you house. If you are from Nigeria, you should know face me I slap you house. It's a house that has different rooms. So you have neighbors. This guy have his own room, this guy have his own room, everybody have their room in that house. So take the house to be a server, and everybody have a hosting account. That is to say, in one big server, in one particular server, you have your space in that server. I have my space in that server. This guy have a space in that server. This guy have a space in that server. That is what shared hosting. We are sharing the same server, and that server, we are going to be sharing the same IP address, because every server have one IP address, and everybody on that server will be sharing that one IP address. That is what shared hosting. So shared hosting is cost effective, is not expensive, because the hosting company or whatsoever, they are using just that one server, and they are cutting that one server to different people. Just the same way Face Me I Slap You House is more is less expensive than a flat or a bungalow or an apartment. So Face Me I Face You House you can get, because we are sharing the same space. You understand that now? So that is what shared hosting. So whenever you see shared hosting, this is what it means. You are getting it. Just know that a server already exists, that you are getting a space in that server. Now, the advantage of shared hosting is that it is cost effective, it is easy to use, and all of that. But the disadvantage of shared hosting is that if anything is wrong with that server, it's going to affect everybody on that server. Just like everybody on the Face Me I Slap You House apartment, when NEPA cut light, for instance, we are in Nigeria, so if you are in Nigeria, you understand these things. If NEPA cut light in that house, everybody in that house, no matter how large that, how many rooms that house is, English, wow. No matter how many rooms are in that apartment or in that house, is not going to get lights, in as much as you all are in that house. So if anything happens in that server, it's going to affect everybody in that server. That's why you see sometimes everybody using Namecheap are having service downtime. That is because they are on shared hosting. Not only Namecheap, I don't want to mention it, but I'm just saying, for instance, okay, everybody on Hostinger or other platform can just have service downtime at the same time, and you will be surprised, why is this guy having the same that time now, and this other guy, and everybody's just, that is because it is on shared hosting. Okay, so in shared hosting, anything that happens on that server is going to affect everybody. So this is where Destined Digital Concept, we have come up with our own hosting plan, where we ensure that we maintain our servers and ensure that our server does not have issues at all. So you can actually get a domain name and a hosting from us, which I'm going to be teaching you how to do that. We also use this shared hosting, VPS hosting, and dedicated hosting, of which I'm going to explain all of that. Our shared hosting is maintained. We don't have downtime. Okay, so you have nothing to fear. Now the next one we're going to be looking at is VPS hosting. So VPS hosting is still a kind of shared hosting, but this time around you have your dedicated space. So you will be getting a dedicated IP address. That is to, okay, let's make example now. It's just like a flat, a 4-bedroom flat. So you know 4-bedroom flat, right? You have your own apartment. So in that your apartment, you have your toilet, you have your kitchen, you have your bedroom, you have everything in that your apartment. But unlike shared hosting or Slap Me I Face Me I Slap You, you are using the same toilet, you are using the same kitchen, you are using the same bedroom with everybody. But in VPS hosting, you have a dedicated space for you, but still on the same server. Okay, still on the same server, but you have a dedicated space. Just like a flat, a house can be 4 flats, and in that 4 flats, this guy have his own flat, he have his own parlor, his own sitting room, his own bedroom, his own whatever. This guy has his own another. So that is what VPS hosting. VPS hosting is more expensive than shared hosting. Now the next one is dedicated hosting. Now dedicated hosting is a whole server is just given to you. That is dedicated what? Hosting. Just like you are renting or buying a full house. All right, so this time around you don't need neighbors, you don't have neighbors, only you own the server. Everything that happens in the server is on you own the full server. So you will not be afraid of somebody is doing something in his own server that will want to affect your server. No, this is dedicated hosting. The entire server is for one user. All right, so dedicated hosting is more expensive than VPS hosting and shared hosting. Now the next one is cloud hosting. Cloud hosting is when you are hosting your website in multiple servers or multiple servers. For instance, Amazon Web Hosting, Amazon Web Services rather, that is a cloud hosting. You host on the cloud, so they will be the one to be managing the servers that your website is currently running on. They can see that this server is having issues, they just quickly migrate it to this server. So it's a cloud stuff. All right, it's a cloud stuff, and that is more expensive than even a dedicated hosting. So what are the kind of websites you can host in this kind of website hosting? If you are hosting a blog, an e-commerce, a corporate website, or any website that doesn't require too much traffic or too much works be done, you can go with a shared hosting. That fits to most of the websites you see out there. It fits in, whether it's a blog website, it's an e-commerce website, any kind of website that you are hosting that doesn't require too much traffic or too much loads. A shared hosting is perfect for you. Now, for a VPS hosting, if you are hosting a website that requires more traffic, for instance, a social media website, you should not use a shared hosting for that, because the kind of traffic that will be coming to your website, that server might not be able to handle those kind of requests. All right, because note, you are not the only one on that server. There are many other accounts on that server, and each of those accounts are having activities at the same time. So let's say, for instance, now you use an air conditioner, you use a deep freezer, you use a washing machine, you use many of these heavy home appliances, and you want to stay in a face me I slap you house. It is not going to favor you, because each of those other rooms, they also have their activities there. You might just plug your washing machine one day and the whole light will just go down. But when you are staying in a flat, your own electricity bus is configured in a way that it can handle most of those loads you are working on. So that takes us to the next one, dedicated hosting. When you are also working on a heavy load or a heavy duty website, for instance, maybe let's say a platform like Facebook, you don't expect Facebook to be using a shared hosting. They will kill the server. The kind of traffic that is entering that server, that account or Facebook at a time or at the same time, that server will just be lagging. And this is what happens when you see sometimes, let's use an example, a very common example, NYC portal. If you have registered NYC before, you see that first day of registration and the second day of registration, oh my god, the kind of traffic that enters that portal, that website, will now begin to make the website lagging, just be misbehaving. The whole thing is just slow, nothing is working. That is because it's either they are using a shared hosting or a VPS hosting that is unable to handle such requests. But you see, on the third day of registration, the fourth day, when registration is now reducing, you now see the server is now working perfectly. So that's what happens when you are using a server that is or when you are working on a website that is bigger than what that server should carry. The next one, cloud hosting. When you are working on a very high demanding website that needs to be up and running all the time and handle lots of traffic, so that's when you use a cloud hosting. So I believe this one is clear. So what you are going to do now is to pause this video and use the comment section, ask your question where you are not yet cleared, and I will answer you on the comment section. And also share this video to another developer or an upcoming developer, so they can also learn these things you have learned. Let's move on to the next one, web hosting technologies. Now, when you are hosting a website or when you purchase a web hosting account or a platform, what are the things or the technologies you will see there? The first one is the control panel. Tools like cPanel for account management. So this is where you manage your account, your your cPanel, everything that has to do with that your space. It's just like your room. Okay, so in your room now, you have your keys, you have your bed space, you have your everything. So that is what the cPanel. I'm going to log into a cPanel later on and show you how a cPanel looks like. Now the next one, a web server. This is the technology that will interpret the website file you will be uploading on this server. Okay, the technology that runs your programs, your files, your codes, and interpret them to the browser. That is what the web server. And the most popular web server is Apache, but we have NG's deliver content. So these are the two most popular web servers that are in use. But the number one is Apache. Most of the servers you're going to be getting, it comes with Apache. Now the next one is security tools. So these are also some other technologies that you need to look out for in your web hosting. Now security tools are those tools that help you secure your website. You must have heard news like, oh, they hacked this website, some hackers hacked into this website and collected some users' information and others. That is because the server is lacking security tools. So when a server is lacking security tools, hacker can easily hack in through their cyber security technologies and others to steal informations, change the content of the website, and do some fishy stuff and others. Some of them can even install a virus to that server. Yeah, they can install a virus to that server and many other things. So one of the most popular security tools that you need to look out for is SSL certificate. So SSL certificate is a system that helps you secures your website. Now let me show you what that does. Let's go to my browser. Now take a look at this website here. On your Chrome browser or any browser you're using, you are going to see something like this, or many of the time you will see a padlock. When you click on this, you're going to see connection is secured. That is to say, this website has a good level of security. This is actually my own website though, and I do not joke with my set security. I don't joke with that, all right? Because my websites have been hacked before, so I know how it took me to restore it, so I don't joke with that. So you can see this website is having a good security. But when you see a website that doesn't have this and you click on it and you are seeing connection not secured, just know that that website is having a compromised security system, and a hacker can easily hack into that website anytime. So such websites, you should not use things like sensitive passwords or your bank details. Do not deliver any of your sensitive information to such website because it can easily be hacked at any time. Let's look at let's see if I can see. Now you can see Facebook, it's secured. Let's see if I can see any website that does not have a good security. I think I know some. Let's see. This is how Chipoli website is having good security. This one is having okay. Something like XAMPP. If I should turn on my XAMPP Apache now, let's turn it on. I want to show you an example. So if I turn on XAMPP now and I come over here, I say localhost, let's see what's going to happen. Now you can see that it's already telling us your connection to this website is not secured. You should not enter any sensitive information and so on and so forth. It means that an SSL certificate is missing on this website and the security system of this website is compromised. So you should not use any sensitive information in such websites. So I believe that is understood. So there are also other site security functions you may want to look at for. We have the firewall protection sites, okay, other cyber security stuff. So when you go into cyber security, you get to learn about all those other things. So let's move on to the next thing. So we have how a web hosting how to host a website. So this is where we're going to go practical now, so I can show you, hold you by the hands practically, how to host a website. First of all, register a domain name. Now remember, like I told you, when you want to build a house, first thing is that you approach a real estate company to purchase a land, get your land registered, and all of those things. So in the internet, we also have real estate company, and those guys, they are called web hosting companies. And Destined Digital Concept we have our own web hosting company in the name of Destined Web Hosting. This is where we help our clients, our students, host their website at a very affordable rate. All right, so I'm going to take you to our website, and I'm going to show you how to register a domain name. I'm going to show you how to choose a hosting plan or a hosting provider, and I'm going to show you how to upload your website file. So the first thing, we're going to register a domain name. We're going to choose hosting provider, and we are going to upload our website file. Then this number 4 usually comes if the domain registrar you are working with is different from your hosting provider. Let me explain that. I know it might sound strange. Hosting provider is different from domain registrar. Domain registrar is a company that registers domain name. All right, so I can go and meet a domain registrar and say, hey, I want to build a website, and the name of the website is DestinedHost.com. So the domain registrar will help me register that domain name. All right, so once that domain name is registered, it doesn't mean I have a hosting server already. I will now proceed to now go and purchase a hosting server from what now? A hosting provider like Destined Web Host. So a hosting provider at the same time can also be what? A domain registrar. Most of the hosting providers you see out there, they are resellers to domain registrar, like Destined Digital Concept now, Destined Web Host. We are resellers to different and most reliable and affordable domain registrars. All right, so what's happened is that when you come to our platform, we are going to register a website for you and give you a hosting plan at the same time. So you may not need this number 4 if we are doing it for you. But if you register your domain name somewhere else and you comes to Destined Web Host or any other hosting platform to purchase a hosting server, that is where you will need to update your DNS, also known or also considered as your name server. So the DNS or the name server is now a system that links that domain you have registered to this server. Now, you can have 2 different servers, but you cannot have 2 domain names of the same name. This is it. You can have 2 servers carrying DestinedDigitalConcept.com, 2 different type of them, and you can put different content in the 2 of them. But you cannot. You can only have one DestinedDigitalConcept.com as a domain name. Now, how do you not tell your browser the server that it should look out to when a user is trying to access the domain name? That's where you need this connect domain to hosting, and you do that with the name server. So each servers have their different name server. So all you just need to do is, so after registering your domain name, you go to your hosting, your domain registrar now, and you update your name server. What you are simply doing is that you are telling your domain registrar, say, hey guys, this is the server I want you guys to point this my domain to. So they will point your domain to that server. All right, so I believe it is understood. So let's now go over now to now do the practical. So the first thing we said, register a domain name. So let's go over to my browser and try to register a domain name. So we go over to my browser, then we go to Destined Web Host. Just search for Destined Web Host. Destined Web Host. Now when you search for Destined Web Host, you're going to see Destined web host right here. We are going to click on it. So this is the practical section now. So I know this video is getting long, but the reason it's getting long is that I want you to understand these things step by step. I don't just want to do a video and just rush you and all that, and you still are not getting the needed knowledge. So I want to hold you by the hand and teach you this thing. So this is DestinedWebHost.com, and what we're going to be doing is that on Destined Web Host we offers both domain registration and web hosting. So that is to say, we can register your domain name and also give you a hosting plan. However, you can decide to go and get your domain name elsewhere, or maybe you already have a domain name and you come to our platform to get a hosting, or you get a hosting from us and go somewhere else to get a hosting server. But I encourage you to get the both from us so that we can manage the both simultaneously, so you don't get issues like flagging of your website or suspending of your website, or your website is not displaying dangerous site ahead and all that. When you get both your domain name and hosting from Destined Web Host, I assure you, you are not going to get any of those issues at all. All right, so let's proceed. What we are going to do here, you can just preview our pricings and every other thing, but we're just going to click on hosting, then we go to shared hosting. So I want to use our shared hosting this time around. Let it open. So on this page here, you can click on register a domain name right here. Just click on store, then bring that drop down, click on register a domain name. Since we want to register a domain name first, we want to see how to register a domain name. So my network is kind of poor today, and I'm just gonna follow it. So when you get to this page, you can see different pricing for registering of different domain and different domain extension. What is a domain extension? You see that .com, .ng, .org, .whatever is the domain extension. Now let's change the currency to Naira. Let's change this currency to Naira because we are in Nigeria. Let's click on apply now. My network is very poor. So the currency has been changed to Naira now, so we can better relate. Now you see each domain extension, also known as TDL, TLD, has different pricing. Now for a .com domain name, the price is for registration is 26,200, transfer is 26,200, renewal is 26,200. Now what is new price, what is transfer, and what is renewal? New price is the price to register a new domain, a fresh domain, okay? That is 26,200. Transfer means that domain has been registered with another domain registrar before, but you want to transfer it to us, okay? Let's say you no longer like their services over there and you want to transfer to Destined Web Host. That is the price for transfer. And for renewal, that renewal means you have registered it. Note, domain are registered per year. Yeah, you can register a domain for a year, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, and so on and so forth. So when the domain expires and you want to register it again, that is the renewal. So since we want to try out a fresh domain, a new domain, all we just need to do is to just move over here, then we type the domain we want to register. Let's say we want to register let's search for any domain first, DestinedHost.com.ng. Let's see. Now the first thing, you are going to search for that domain if that domain you are trying to register is actually available or has been registered. Remember I told you cannot register one domain name twice. All right, so as you can see here, Destined Web Host, destinedweb.com.ng is not available. It means that we cannot register this guy again. It has been registered by someone else. So in this case, what do? You have to change your domain. You can either add some alphabet to your domain name, or you can change the domain extension. So let's change the domain extension to .com and see. So you can see .com is already registered with us, and we cannot register it again. So let's use something else. Let's use DestinedEmmanuel.com. All right, let's search for DestinedEmmanuel.com. So you can see DestinedEmmanuel.com is very much available. So we can now register DestinedEmmanuel.com. So after searching the domain you want to register, all you just need to do is to click on Add to Cart. Now after clicking on Add to Cart, you click on Checkout. So at this point here, this is where you are going to be configuring or adding some add-ons to your domain. Now, some add-ons you can add, we have some for free and some are paid. We have DNS management. This is to help you manage your domain network system to ensure that your website is speed up and all that. So you can choose to add that. Is free by us. You can add that. You can add ID protection. So this ID protection, what is ID protection? ID protection helps you to hide the information of that website, the identification details of that website. Let me show you an example. There is a website called Whois, and this is the reason why as a web developer you should not fall for scammers, for scam website. Now, if I see any website or somebody is telling me of any of these their investment platform and others, if that website is a scam, I will know. I will tell you how long it will last. Now, how do I know? All I just need to do is to copy the domain name of that website, and I'll take it to Whois and run a Whois background check on that website. Then this is how I know if the website is a scam. So let's go and run Whois check on a website and see. So I'm going to go to a website called Whois. Go to a website called Whois.com. Then on Whois.com, over here you can see enter domain name or IP, then Whois. So I'm going to say who is Destined Digital Concept, DestinedDigitals.com.ng. So we click on the search Whois. Now over here you can see my domain registrar, Host Africa. This is my website. Now you can see the date that this domain was registered. It was registered on 2023. I think that's August 2nd of August 2023, and the next expiring date is 2025, and this domain was updated in 2024. So you see the whole history, and you can see my name server here. This is the server that my website is currently pointing to, and over here you can see registrant name. You see my name, you see my organization, you see my house address, and so on and so forth. You see administrative contact, you see my name, you can even see my phone number here. Alright, you can see my own personal email here. Now you can see technical contacts. You still see all of these informations right here. Now, how do I now know that a website is a scam or not? If the website is parading to say, okay, you know, many of these scam websites, they will tell you they have been in existence for 10 years, 5 years, and so on and so forth. Say they are not going to crash and others. Come here. Let's say they tell you the website has been existing for 10 years ago. Just come here, check the registered on or the registration date. You have caught them already. So if I tell you now that my website has been on existence for 10 years, and here you come here, you are seeing 2023, it means I'm a liar and something is fishy. Yeah. Okay. So you can also check the date that website will be expiring. So most of these investment platforms that will really last, many of them do not do 1 year registration. They always do 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years. For instance, if we check Facebook should be like 10 years. You can just run that check. So why is it that they will just do 1 year registration? Is because they are not going to last. So check if the registration is the duration between the registered date and the expiring date is just 1 year. Just know that that website is not going to last. It's going to crash at any time. Mine has been in existence since 2023 and is expiring on 2025. And before it expires on 2025, I'm going to do another renewal, and definitely it's going to be like 2 years, 3, 4, 5 years, because I know my website is going to be active forever. Okay, so that's also another way. Now this is also another way. When you check the registrant information and you are not able to find an information that is reliable, or that is, concurrent to something, that is relative, that you can relate with, you are not seeing a good name there, you are not seeing an address, you are not seeing anything, that website is a scam. And how is it that they were able to hide their name? You can see, man, nothing is hidden now because my website is a legit website. But how is it that they are able to hide this information? This is where they are hidden. It's called ID protection. You can see the guy here, right here. So when you add this ID protection to your domain registration, the domain registrar is going to hide your information. They are going to, put some other information there so that whois cannot recognize who is really operating the website. Now let me show you an example. Look at this website. Let's say celebrityconnect.com. Now look at this website here. You can see the registrar is attacked. All right, but let's go over to other contact information. You can see no contact information, no administrative information, no technical information. Nothing is displaying again, guys. Unlike my own, let me open my own again so we can do the comparison. DestinedHost.com. So you can see here, you can see domain information, contact, registrant contact, administrative contact, technical contact, billing contact, and many informations that are really pointing to a real person. But let's look at this guy. You can see there is nothing like that. That is because this website is having ID protection. So this is how you can actually hide the information of your website from whois. So whois cannot really tell who is in charge of the website or where the website is operating from and all that. So just in case you are working for a client and the client wants to hide those information, this is how to do it. I believe this lesson is becoming interesting and you are really learning a lot. So at this point, ask your question and share this video. So having understood that, you can decide to add this package to your hosting or leave it. Now the next one, we have email forwarding. Email forwarding is a system that forwards an email that is sent to one account to another. You will not understand that, but when we get to the panel session, I'm going to show you that. So you can add that. Then after adding that, this is where you change your name server. Now I explained name server before. I said name server is what points to the what's it called now, the server you want to use for this website. Now let's take for instance that I just want to register a domain here. I don't want to use my server. I don't want to use DestinedHost server. I have a server already. I will go and collect that server name server. Server name server. I'll go and get the name server of that server and I'll paste it here. It's usually two. It's usually name server 1 and name server 2, but you can also add other extra name server like CloudHost, Cloudflare and others. Okay, so after that I will continue. Now you see we don't have hosting here. All right, so if we now want to add an hosting plan, this is where we click to add an hosting plan. So if we don't do this, we are just going to pay and we register the domain alone. So now how do you now select an hosting plan? So in DestinedHost, we have different hosting plans that you can use. We have the starter, we have basic, we have classic, and we have business. We also have the trial. Now each of them have their features. Now let's take a look at the starter. You can see you can only use one hosted domain and you have just 2 gig of storage and you have 10 gig bandwidth. Now what is bandwidth? Bandwidth is the amount of traffic that your website can handle monthly. So if you want that website to handle a lot of traffic, you have to use a higher bandwidth. But if it's just a small website, maybe your personal portfolio or something you'll not be using too much, you can use a plan with a smaller bandwidth. Okay, so now let's take a look at the basic. You can see on the basic we have 12 gig storage disk, we have 2 domain hosted, we have 30 gig bandwidth, and also other features. So you can just go for any of these ones you want to go for. All right, so if you want to go for the starter now, we click on order now for the starter. So remember, this is the domain we selected. We click on use, then at this point we can change our billing cycle to annually, yearly, or monthly. So let's just leave it at monthly. After that, we click on continue. Then this will now redirect us to still this session where we do our domain name configuration, because remember we went back to go and add hosting plan. Yeah, so we click here, we can click this guy, we can just do anything, and after that we continue. So here we can now do what? Check out. So when you want to check out, you will need to register an account with us or log into your existing account. So I already have an existing account. I can just do what? Log in. So let me log in to my account. So I have my account logging in now. Let's see, I'm logged in. So at this point I will go scroll down, then click on complete order. So you can make payments with bank transfer, make payments with your ATM card, and after that, within 2 minutes, your website, your domain name, and your hosting plan is ready and registered. Okay, so after registration and hosting, and registration of your domain name and hosting, what do you get in return? Now, if we have made this payment successfully, we are going to get what? A domain name registered for the period you selected, and a hosting plan that you will need to get. We'll be sending you the information to your email. Now let's take a look at what that looks like. I can go to my dashboard now and see all of that. So let's look at, you see here I have 2 domain and 2 services. This should be 2 services registered. I have 2 services registered here. One has been suspended. I suspended this. Okay, so let me go on. So you're going to see your domain and your service. Yeah, the service is the hosting, while the domain is the domain name you registered. So from here you can actually log into your hosting account, to your cPanel, and do whatsoever you want to do. Now let me show you an example of the email you're going to be receiving. So let me open my email box, go to my Gmail, and let's search for, let's see what we have been getting. Let me go to search for Destined web host. Now you can see we have new account creation. So this is the email you will be receiving when you purchase a new account. So you can see you're going to be receiving the account information and the cPanel login details. All right, the cPanel login details, and also as well your server IP. This is our server IP, and the name server. This is the name server I told you guys about. So if you want to connect it to a different domain, this is what you're going to be using to connect it. So how does the cPanel look like? Let me take you through a cPanel. So I will show you how your hosting account looks like. So I'm going to log into Destined Digital's my own cPanel account. So let's use that for practicing. Okay, let's use, or we can use this. Let me use Mesos. Trying to think of one I can easily log into. So to log into your cPanel, just type your domain name slash cpanel. I think I should use my own website. Let me use my own website. Just type your domain name, which is destineddigitals.com.ng, which is for my own domain name, destineddigitals.com.ng. Then I'll say slash cpanel. This is how we log into our cpanel after getting a domain name and a hosting. So I'm gonna log in. So guys, since this email is already open here, let's just log in with this one I already have here. Okay, so let's use the domain name here. This is the domain name. I'll just copy it for easy references sake. Then I'll just say slash cpanel. Sorry, slash cpanel. That's how you log into the domain name. The cpanel of any website. So we are going to get the username. The username will be given to you via the email, and the password as well will be given to you via the email you will be receiving. And after that, we log in. So login successful, redirecting to our cpanel. So this is our cpanel, also known as the control panel of our server. This is just like your room in that house. So this is where you manage your room. Is you that know what you want to put in your room? Is you that know the kind of bed you want to use, the kind of chair you want to use? Is exactly the same thing. Okay, so you know what the kind of website you want. So this is the email section. We're going to be having a different video to explain that. This is the billing and support section. This is the file section. This is where you upload your website file to, and this is the database section. This is where you upload your database to your website, and every other thing works perfectly. So this is how you host your website on the internet. Now if I open the file manager, now you see we already have some files in this website. Now when you go to the website, this is the website right here. So you see these are the files we have in it, the website rather, and these are the files that runs that website. When you click on file manager, from here you click on public_html, and you see these are the files we have in the server, and these are the files that are currently running this website that you see. So this is how to host your website, or how to get a hosting and host your website. So let's move over to the next session. We are running out of time now. And the next thing we're going to look at is test your website. So you just need to upload your website and test your website. Now note, if you change the name server of your domain, let me show you how to change the name server of your domain. After registering the domain, go back to your domain account. This is it. Then just click on domain here, my domain. So we are going to see different domains. Now this is the one we are currently working on. This one is pending because we have not paid. That one is not here. Okay, it's not here, but we can use any of this one. For example, let's click on this guy. Then you can just mark the one you want to work on. Then you see manage name server. Here you just change the main server. So here you're going to enter the new name server you want to use, enter the new name server too you want to use, and the domain will now start pointing to your new name server. You're going to give that some time, like 30 minutes to 1 hour for the domain and the server to propagate. All right, so that's it for that. And another way you can change those whois information I showed you about is by coming to your domain section, select the domain, then click on edit contact information. So from here you can actually edit those contact information. If you don't want it to be showing your informations and all that, you can also edit it from here, but it will not be hidden like the one you saw that was hidden. Okay, so take note of that. So the next thing we're going to be looking at now, let's go back to our slide. We've done all this, test your website, and tip for choosing a hosting. Look out for 99.9 uptime, and that is what Destined Digital Concept offers, Destined Web Host offers. Now look out for speed fast server improvement performance, and that is also assured with Destined Web Host. Our websites are running with speed. You can check them out. You can check Destined. You can check, let me just tell you the website that are currently on our server. Check swiftdigicat.com, check celebrityconnect.com, check nexusfinance.com, check togetherseekers.com, and so many others. You're going to see the speed at which our website is running. Now, check out for 247 support. So, had it been there is something more than 247 support, that is what we offer, because you know me, this is me. You can always come to my WhatsApp inbox at any time, and I'll always be there to support you and guide you in whatever challenges you are facing with your hosting account. So we are going to be giving you perfect customer service, and when I say customer service, I mean perfect customer service. So Destined Digital Concepts, Destined Web Host offer all of this, and there are also other features that our web hosting comes with that you can also check in our website. And one of the most important one is that our server does not suspend websites, so it accepts any kind of website you want to host. So whether you're hosting a streetwise website like an online banking, any kind of website at all, you won't get suspension. That is guaranteed. So why choose Destined Host? We are reliable, and we are reliable and affordable hosting for your needs. 9.9 uptime is guaranteed, and fast server, 247 support, like I said, no website support, suspension, good customer service, and so on and so forth. So in conclusion, so far, web hosting is essential for your new website, for your new online presence. You need a web hosting. In as much as you need to have a website, you need a web hosting. Destined Web Host makes web hosting easy, reliable, and affordable. So get started today and bring your website to dream, your website dream to life.
So I believe that with this 1 5 minute video, you have been able to create a whole course for you on web hosting. And the only thank you are going to be telling me in this video is subscribing to my YouTube channel, and also liking this video, sharing this video, and dropping your comments on this video. That's the only thank you I need. You don't need to pay me anything. You're not paying for this video, nothing. Just subscribe to our YouTube channel if you are not subscribed, like our videos, drop a comment, tell us what you think, whether positive or negative. Just tell us what you think about this video. Tell us where I got it wrong, because I'm also learning. Tell me where I got it wrong. I'm going to make corrections to that. Tell us what you think I should also come up and teach about, and also share this video with somebody. And don't forget, visit DestinedWebHost.com to get your web hosting and domain name registered. And if you want to get a web script, an online banking script, any kind of script for your website, visit swiftdigicat.com. There are lots and lots of affordable and very functional scripts for you to get on our e-commerce store. So I'll see you guys in another one. We're going to be discussing something else still in the field of web development and tech. For now, I still remain Destined Emmanuel, your favorite web developer in Nigeria. Have a nice time. Peace and love.